Psychology says talking to yourself when you're alone is often a sign of mental clarity, not instability. It's a behavior that gets labeled as strange, even though it's not broken, wrong, or weak. For some minds, thinking out loud is simply how the brain sorts meaning and keeps balance. Once you see this pattern clearly, it can change how you interpret your inner world. Like and subscribe if this feels familiar, and let's unpack this idea together. Number 1. You think best during transitions. You might notice you talk to yourself most when you're about to start something, stop something, or decide what comes next, and that pattern isn't random. Psychology suggests self-talk often shows up during mental transitions, when your brain is shifting from intention into action. In those moments, your thoughts aren't fully formed yet, and silence doesn't give them enough structure to move forward. Speaking bridges that gap by turning vague ideas into something your brain can follow step by step. It's how you maintain mental momentum instead of stalling or drifting. Rather than feeling stuck between options, your voice helps align thought and movement in real time. This is especially common in people who think deeply and move intentionally because transitions demand clarity, not speed. What looks like muttering is often your mind actively organizing itself so you can move with confidence. You're not talking because you're confused, you're talking because your brain is preparing to act. Number 2, you need structure to think clearly. It can feel like your thoughts only settle once you hear them out loud, and there's a reason that happens. For certain minds, silence isn't calm, it's crowded. Ideas overlap, interrupt each other, and stay abstract longer than they need to. When you speak, your thoughts become tangible, linear, and easier to manage. Your voice acts like a container that holds one idea at a time, reducing mental noise. This isn't a lack of focus, it's a response to deep, layered thinking. Some people can process everything internally, but others need external structure to reach clarity. Talking to yourself creates that structure instantly, without relying on anyone else. It's a sign your mind works at a level where order matters more than speed. Number 3, you use your voice to sharpen focus. You may notice that the moment you say something out loud, your attention snaps into place, almost like a lens tightening. Psychology shows that verbal cues don't just express thought, they actively guide perception and focus. When you speak, your brain prioritizes the information it hears, even when the voice is your own. This helps cut through distraction and hesitation, especially when your mind tends to explore too many possibilities at once. Your voice becomes an anchor that keeps your attention from drifting. Instead of overthinking silently, you direct your focus outward, even if no one else is there. This is why talking through tasks, instructions, or observations can suddenly make things feel clearer. You're not distracting yourself, you're narrowing your mental field. What seems unusual is actually a precision tool your brain uses to stay locked in. Number 4, you regulate emotions internally. When you talk to yourself during stressful moments, it's not weakness, it's regulation. Psychology recognizes that distant self-talk creates emotional control by separating feeling from reaction. By giving yourself instructions or reassurance out loud, you prevent emotions from spiraling unchecked. Your words act like guardrails, keeping your internal state steady under pressure. This kind of self-guidance is common in people who handle stress quietly rather than externally. You're coaching yourself through moments before they overwhelm you. Instead of suppressing emotion, you're organizing it. That ability to stay calm doesn't come from ignoring feelings, but from actively managing them in real time. Number 5, you lock information into memory. You might find yourself repeating things out loud before important moments, and that habit is doing more than you realize. Psychology shows that speaking information activates stronger memory pathways than thinking silently. When you hear your own voice, your brain treats the information as more concrete and worth holding on to. This creates deeper memory traces, making recall easier when it matters. Verbal repetition also signals importance, telling your mind that this detail isn't disposable. That's why instructions, plans, or reminders often stick better once they're spoken. For people who self talk, this happens naturally without effort or intention. You're essentially rehearsing information in a way that strengthens performance before it's needed. What looks like a quirk is actually your brain choosing the most reliable way to remember. Talking to yourself when you're alone isn't something you need to correct, it's simply how your mind stays clear and steady. It's the sound of your thoughts finding shape, not because you're lost, but because you're paying attention. In those quiet moments, you're often more present with yourself than most people ever learn to be. If this perspective resonated, you can like and subscribe to stay connected in a way that feels natural. And if you're curious what else your everyday habits might be quietly revealing, the next video on habits linked to a surprisingly high IQ flows naturally from here.